How can you relax when the news and your friends and social media is a constant drumbeat of why you should not be relaxing? You have to be nervous right now. Like that's gonna solve any problems? This is really a study of one, and I emphasize that. So, if you happen to want to subscribe to Study of One, you can by clicking on the subscribe button below and tapping on the bell so that you get notifications whenever I make a new video. So here's the thing. For me, because I'm a study of one, really limit the input from sources such as social media, TV news, and just general talk shows and things like that on television. Because a lot of that input is intended to sell screen time, to get your eyeballs looking, and nothing generates more eyeballs on the page than fear. To be honest, fear sells newspapers, fear sells magazines, fear sells products. And if you're afraid of something, it may not help to be more afraid of a thing. If you've got the basics in information, you don't need to do the deep dives to find out all of the reasons why you should be really, really afraid. So just limit the amount of time. When you get into social media and you keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, and eventually, you are so depressed after 2 hours worth of clicking that you just can't move. If you have to, get an egg timer and set the timer. Use your phone and say, okay, 10 minutes. That's all I need right now in terms of information. Once that bell goes off, bam, you're doing something that you enjoy or something relaxing. This takes me to thing number 2. Find out what you can do to calm yourself down. Listen, focus, be still. I found meditation to be the best way for me. I meditate for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes every day, but there are some days that I don't do it, and those are usually the days that I've gotten too deep into the deep dives on the news. And I've wasted that time that I could have been using meditating and getting connected and being grounded in my life. I am a study of one after all, and I need to be grounded in my life. I don't need to be grounded in somebody else's life over there. But if listening to another person that you're having a conversation with on a video chat or a person that you live with, if that means being very calm and really paying attention to them as they express themselves, that can be very uplifting for both of you. Now, if that person is just a constant series of complaints, listening will help you hear what's underneath the complaints, that floating anxiety or that fear. And maybe you could suggest that they watch this video as well to find ways out of feeling like that all the time. I'm not talking about people who are diagnosed with depression or anxiety disorders, because that's a whole different animal. The best thing that you can do is be kind. Focus. If you want to focus on the birds outside your window, if you want to sit and look at a flower, focus on your pet. Take some time to focus on something that is simple and small and brings you some sense of contentment. And you can spend just even a minute focusing on something that brings you into a more relaxed state. And finally, be still. I think that's something that we as human beings struggle with because we're always moving around and doing. But there are times when it's okay to just be still. Sometimes that's when you get the best ideas. Sometimes you get messages. And definitely you get a little bit of needed downtime. Third thing, find activities that require
slower movement.
Things like yoga, tai chi, stretching, anything that doesn't force you to move really fast. Because all of that fast moving has a tendency to jack up your anxiety levels. Now, if you're a runner and that's something you really enjoy, there is a sense of freedom that you get from that and the endorphins and everything. I'm just talking about moving your body slowly so that you are forced to pay attention and focus and relax, and you find that peace that you're seeking in those slow movements. George and I have been doing Tai Chi now for a little while, and it is so soothing. That slowness of the movement is so calming, and it makes it feel really almost relaxing, even though you're exercising. Thing 4, find small spaces to declutter. I get it. You're stuck at home. You feel like you want to clean your whole house. If that is your jam and that fulfills you and that is how you express yourself, then clean the house. But if you're just frustrated because your space is in disarray and you just don't even have a single space where you can sit and find calm, then just pick one small space. Pick a drawer, pick a bookshelf, pick a surface in your kitchen and clean and tidy up that one small area. It actually is so satisfying. And then focus and look at it and appreciate it and bring people into the room. If there are people living with you, bring them into the room and show them what you've done and make sure you give them a script so they know to be excited about that small space. Because otherwise they might just look at it and go,
that looks very nice.
You want them to look at it and go,
oh, wow! This is amazing!
Pick a small space that you look at often and just make it clutter-free. Number 5, reframe problems. If you look at something and you see it as a problem, for instance, the clutter in your home, a way to reframe that might be, well, this home is well lived in. This is a place where I and my family can relax and enjoy ourselves. If there's a little bit of clutter, it just means we're having a life here, and that's not a bad thing. Reframing doesn't always mean reframing something bad into something good. Sometimes reframing just goes from this is an anxiety that I have that I don't know what to do about to this is a challenge and I get to look and see how can I address this challenge and take control of my own life with that challenge out there. I have a lot of videos in my Designing Your Life series if you want to look at that video playlist. It's based on a book called Designing Your Life, and in the book by Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, they often talk about reframing something. If you want to learn about how to reframe, you can order the book below. Number 6, escape. Escape and let go of what is not critically important in the moment. An escape can look like something different to everybody. For me, escape is going out into the yard and sitting in the hammock and reading a book. Or it could be watching Star Trek. It could be having coffee with a friend on video chat. Escape is whatever you say it is. But escape is simply a way to get away from the constant drumbeat that I talked about in the first section. That the news is not good and life is a struggle and you just have to slog through it. It doesn't have to be like that. In fact, if you're feeling that way, escape can be the best answer in the moment. I've often told my kids, if you're feeling like a problem is just bearing down on you and it's too big for you to manage, that's the time when you got to think about something else. Find something that brings you joy. Listen to uplifting music, watch a funny TV show, read a great book. Do something that takes you out of that place where you are just constantly frustrated and sad and anxious. And you can come back to it later. that stuff is going to be there for you. But get away from it when it starts feeling overwhelming. Just to review, when you're feeling this corona life is overwhelming to you and living in quarantine is bearing down on you too hard, then here are 6 ways that you can address it and find peace in your own study of one. 1. Set limits on social media, news, and TV watching. 2. Listen, focus, and be still. 3. Find activities that require slow movement like yoga, tai chi, or stretch, or your own activity. It could be stirring soup slowly. Just find an activity that slows you down. 4. Find small spaces to declutter. Just a drawer. Start with a shelf. A little bit of counter space next to the microwave. 5. Reframe problems as something other than problems. Perspective is everything, and perspective is always up to you because we are all only a study of one. And 6, escape and let go of what is not critically important in the moment. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me. I love sharing this stuff with you. If you think of something that you want me to talk about during this time while we're all in quarantine, I would be really happy to do that. So just, message me, let me know. And otherwise, if you have a question, I haven't had any questions since the last video I did, but if you have questions about this quarantine life or anything specific about something I brought up in one of the videos, send me your question. I'll answer it. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe and be sure and hit the notification button. Then you'll know every time I put out a new video. And do share the videos. The subscriber list is growing and it feels like a community. So we're all in this together. If you want to subscribe, become part of that community. It definitely will feel better to know that you're not alone. And finally, you are loved. You are cherished, and we will get through this together. You guys need to come through?
Yeah.
Come on, come on.